So here we are, ready for this match. It's match day 4 now in the UEFA Nations League. This is the second division, League B as they call it. England, who were stunned by Greece on Thursday night. Lee Carsley's rung the changes after the reality of being the England manager really jumped up and bit him at Wembley on Thursday. So Greece top of the table, they play Ireland tonight. England on 6 points, Republic of Ireland on 3, Finland yet to get off the mark. The Finland team tonight, the goalkeeper from Bayer Leverkusen, Radetzky, the captain at the back, Alho, Hoskonen, Ivanov and Uranen. Then in midfield, Paltala, Kamara and Schuller with Fredrik Jensen, Topi Keskinen of Aberdeen and Benjamin Chelman up front. And the England team, if you haven't heard, Dean Henderson starts, Jordan Pickford on the bench. At the back, Walker, Stones, Gay and Alexander-Arnold at left back, just watching him walking into position. Then in midfield, Angel Gomez, who started against Finland last month, just seeing him dancing around on the balls of his feet. There's the whistle as the ball is played back by Declan Rice as England kick off all the way to give Dean Henderson a first touch, which he drives forward on his right foot and it's headed away on the edge of the Finland penalty area. To complete the England lineup, Gomez and Rice in midfield, then Palmer, Bellingham and Grealish, with Harry Kane up front, having scored 2 goals against Finland just a few weeks ago when he won his 100th cap. Kane and Grealish back after not being in the 22 on Thursday evening, straight back to fitness and into the team. And it is Finland in the almost all-white kit with the blue trim, who are playing from left to right. Dean Henderson is at our end of the pitch, as I say, very much right of centre, and England are in the sort of purpley grey. I think they call them raisin, don't they, this away kit with the gold numbers on the back, and they are playing away from us as Lee Carsley just comes to the edge of his coaching area. Harry Kane to Alexander-Arnold, all right foot from left back. Harry Kane comes across and Alexander-Arnold wins a throw-in for England down on the left.
Yeah, it is a back three for Finland. Jana was absolutely right in thinking they were going to switch to that for this game. I think they've got a real game plan in terms of hitting the ball forward quickly to Chalman up front, who's a big lad, to hold it up. He's going to be a bit of a physical threat, and they're going to try and be defensively a bit more sound. They're obviously a very leaky team in terms of goals, and I think if they feel they can keep it at 0-0 for longer and longer and longer, they might just be able to nick something. Yeah,
there was a little bit of talk here yesterday inside the stadium amongst the Finnish contingent that they might do that, switch to 3 central defenders, and Peltola, who's really a defensive midfielder, one of the American-based players. Peltola, very, very blonde-haired, plays for DC United. He has taken up a position as the left of the 3 central defenders. Here's Grealish for the first time into the match on the left-hand side. Back it goes to Alexander-Arnold, who curls it into the box, but all the way through to Radetzky, who can just stand and watch it bounce into his arms.
Yeah, but straight away there you saw Declan Rice was the player making that run into the Finland box. He has that licence with Gomez in the team to maybe get forward, which I do like to see. I think Declan Rice does that very, very well. He times those runs, comes late. He's got the freedom to do that this evening.
So Finland 0, England 0. Just underway here in Helsinki. 5 Live from the BBC. Listen as well if you're on the move on this Sunday, afternoon back home. We're a couple of hours ahead of you here in the north, in the Nordic state, just on the Gulf of Finland, which flows into the Baltic Sea. Here is Alexander-Arnold infield towards little Gomez, winning his 3rd cap tonight. The French-based former Manchester United midfielder who's been very much a Lee Carsley selection, although he was on the long list under Gareth Southgate, Angel Gomez, as England go back into their own half. And Alexander-Arnold comes all the way across from left back, almost into the right back area to take possession, and then played through to Kane. Kane holding off the challengers through the middle, the Bayern Munich man. Now Rice receives it on the right-hand side. Rice bursting back into the penalty area, but 2 defenders got in the way, and actually Rice fouled one of them, the left-back Uranen, and it's a free kick to Finland inside their own penalty area.
It's been a nice start from England, to be honest. The team looks quite well balanced. I think, you've got those changes in position with Trent going into midfield and all the way across the pitch, but Angel Gomez, every pass he's played is sideways or backwards. That's not a criticism. That's his role in the team at the moment, and I think if he takes care of that with all the other players that will run forward, will play forward and want to get the ball in those holes, then it serves a purpose, and it might just bring that bit of balance into the midfield area.
Yep. He was very tidy, wasn't he, on his debut against Finland?
He started tidily this evening.
Yeah, he is. The number 19, the Lille midfielder, as England win a free kick on the far side, a foul on Jude Bellingham. By Jude Bellingham, it's a free kick to the Finns, just inside the England half. So a first chance for a set piece, and they did pose one or two problems. Finland on the counter-attack against England at Wembley, although England dominated possession in the match, and Radetzky, the goalkeeper, had a very good night. But a free kick now, and England holding an extremely high line, almost, I mean, it's between 10 and 15 yards outside the penalty area.
Yeah, I quite like it, to be honest. I think you're going to be brave enough to keep that line up.
Yeah, the number 9, Jensen, is standing well beyond the defensive line. It's actually played short to the left-hand side. Comes in looking for Jensen at the near post, but Harry Kane was actually there to intercept it and was able to pass it away. And then England do play it away across the back line. Rice heads it back into his penalty area. Here's Mark Gay, restored to the England starting lineup after sitting it out on Thursday evening. He's winning his 20th cap tonight. I had a chat with him last night. He's so understated, Mark Gay. He's a real cool customer, a real gentle man, actually. That's how I'd describe him. As Gomez now takes the ball forward towards the halfway line. In this group, I mentioned the situation in the table. You know, England now facing the prospect of probably having to win all 3 matches, including in Athens next month, as England have the ball inside their own half, over on the right-hand side with the captain on Thursday, John Stones. Here's Gomez, seen a lot of the ball in the early stages. Gomez in the centre circle, out to the left, and then Alexander-Arnold goes back in field to Gay, and then comes across, makes himself available, and England actually being forced all the way back by the Finnish press towards the edge of their own penalty area. Alexander-Arnold goes cross-field, Stones backs away and takes this down and gives Henderson another touch.
Yeah, it's not a bad press from Finland there. They're going to be a bit more confident, aren't they, at home? The pitch feels a little bit tighter, a bit smaller than a big Wembley arena, and they're going to try and get after England.
Gomez gave it away. This could be trouble. Shellman through the middle. Excellent block. And then the shot is screwed wide. Keskinen inside the box after the initial attempt from Chelman was very well blocked. It bounced to Keskinen, the Aberdeen man in great goal-scoring form for his club with 2 goals in the last 2 matches, but he got it all wrong and mishit it right foot wide of the post. Could easily be 1-0.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a massive tackle as well from John Stones. I think it was Chalman with the initial shot. It was a poor pass from Angel Gomez. Tried to play the forward pass into Bellingham, break the line. Got read by the Finland midfield, and all of a sudden that first ball went bang straight into Chalman. He turned, he was on the edge of the 18-yard box. England was spread because we were so comfortable in possession. The full-backs are wide and centre-backs are in that position to receive the ball. First really early scare for England.
And now Alexander-Arnold's clearance has been charged down, and it's headed back to Henderson by John Stones, who makes a comfortable catch. Actually, it was a good header back by Stones, very calm under pressure, but another little error at the back.
Yeah, I think you've also got to have half an eye on the pitch this evening. You know, it's okay playing those passes. Sometimes the passes are very risky through that defensive area, England's own defensive area, and there's a little bit of bobble on the grass, John, isn't there? The turf is just sitting up a little bit. The ball's not moving particularly smoothly. Yeah, well, if anyone saw the pictures from Thursday night here, the match when Ireland were here, it was very, very wet in the city during the midweek, and the pitch was cutting up in that match. Finland took the lead. Joel Pojanpalo scored the opening goal, the only goal that Finland have scored so far in this group. The Venezia striker that our friend Jana, who we heard from, he wasn't too happy, was he?
Very happy about Pojanpalo not being in the team today.
They do rotate a striker though.
Yeah, Pukki as well on the bench.
3 times I've seen him. He started with 3 different centre forwards.
Yeah, Pukki started at Wembley, didn't he?
That's right.
The veteran as he is now, he's on the bench. I think he's had a little bit of an injury problem, so he only came on as a substitute, and he's on the bench again tonight. Finland's record scorer, now 34 years old. But England in possession, it's 0-0. Bright floodlights all the way around the top of the roof as Grealish now is bundled over. That was a hefty challenge by Jensen. Grealish, that's the first one, presumably of many. He does get the treatment, doesn't he, as England take a short free kick. Could easily be 1-0 down with that chance that Keskinen had, and England go all the way back again to goalkeeper Henderson, the Crystal Palace man, the Cumbrian, winning his second cap 4 years after his first. Nice little piece of play from Declan Rice over on the far side. Change of feet, playing it in field. No Bukayo Saka here tonight. If you didn't catch that news over the course of the last couple of days, wasn't able to travel to Finland because of what we think is a hamstring problem. So that is another worry for Arsenal. Grealish now, Bellingham on the edge of the area. Lovely footwork. The shot is deflected up and wide, and that was excellent. That was so smooth from Bellingham.
Yeah, slick football from England. Bellingham, big part of it in the build-up. Lovely shuffle and drop of the shoulder in the build-up, but he just gets the ball back onto his right foot. He's looking to bend it to the far post. He's on the left-hand side of the 18-yard box, but gets a big deflection. Defender just puts his back leg out, and it clips off his calf, I think it is, spins up in the air, and now it's a corner.
England's first attempt in the 10th minute. Here's the corner into the near post, which is headed up and behind by Hoskonen, who got up very high there, didn't he? And stretching for it, managed to head it 5 yards wide.
Another area that Jana wasn't too happy with, was the set-piece defending and crosses, but they've coped with that one, even though it was a little bit unusual.
Yeah, there's quite a lot Jana wasn't very happy. Right, it's a corner. Second consecutive corner for England. Cole Palmer to take this. Left-footed, high into the 6-yard box. It's headed away well again for Finland. Comes out to Gomez, who stretches for it. Heads it back to Palmer. Left-footed ball in, dangerous. That's headed away. It only comes out to Stones, deflected back out. Then the shot on the edge of the area, driven goalwards and blocked inside the box. Trent Alexander-Arnold with the effort, but it spun away to the far side, out of play for a throw.
And it was on target as well. I mean, what a ball in though from Cole Palmer. The first one, left-footed, so much dip and whip, and I mean, it was just begging to be headed in, but it just dropped in an area where there was no England shirt.
There's quite a cold wind,
yes,
whistling round this big bowl of a stadium now, as Grealish has it on the left-hand side, still 0-0, but England just settled down now and beginning to play in the opposition half rather than their own. And actually, right now, long pass from Kyle Walker, restored to the England starting lineup, left out last month, not involved on Thursday night, but here he is now, winning his 91st cap, Kyle Walker. And of course, podcast man now on the BBC as well, You'll Never Beat Kyle Walker, is new again on BBC Sounds. Here is Grealish on the left-hand side. Walker with 91 caps means he's now left Brian Robson behind in the list of England appearances. Here is Jude Bellingham, who turns and gives it back to Mark Gay, and then through the middle towards Kane. Kane turns and tried to spin the pass forward for Palmer to chase, but just got too much on that, the captain, and threw for a goal kick. And here's Matt Upson.
Yeah, ambitious from Harry Kane. I mean, he does love to drop deep. How many times you see him drop deep, get that ball onto his right foot, and then find that pass diagonally? But this one, he tries to play really central. The run from Palmer was out to in. He's not really going to stay wide all the time, Palmer. He's held position pretty well out of possession, but you just know when England have the ball, he's going to be all over the pitch.
So Matt Upson, England defender, goal scorer at the World Cup, with us here in Helsinki. And Phil Jagielka back in the studio as England win a free kick. There's a foul on Palmer. They didn't like that, the home supporters, but I think he was clipped, and it's a free kick to England just inside their own half. Yeah, Phil Jagielka we'll hear from at half-time. Reminds us of where were we in the summer when we were walking through a German city amongst England supporters, you and I, and someone was shouting at you, "Oi, Jagielka! Jagielka!"
I forgot that, yeah. You found that really amusing, didn't you?
I did. So it's lovely to have you both on the air together.
Well, I'm hearing one.
Yeah,
two in one.
I love the way you ignored it. Finland 0, England 0, almost 15 minutes played. Alexander-Arnold passes the ball forward for Bellingham to reach, but he knew he wasn't going to get there.
I don't know if Phil should be more upset about that than me, to be honest.
As the ball is passed forward for Finland, here's Mark Gay, who does well, holds off Chelman, and excellent strong defending from the Crystal Palace captain. So we've got Crystal Palace captain in central defence and Crystal Palace goalkeeper behind him for this match. Here is Alexander-Arnold.
They're definitely having more of a go, Finland, aren't they, in terms of out of possession. They look quite well set, they're being disciplined, they're holding position, and when England have the ball, they're not just coming to press by themselves. There's 2 or 3 in backup. They're trying to make life difficult for England and just nick the ball on the counter-attack.
Finland, who've won only one of their last 7 internationals, and that was a friendly against Estonia here in June, nearby Estonia. I know some England supporters actually travelled to Estonia, had a little look at Tallinn, and actually got the ferry across the Gulf of Finland here to Helsinki for the match. Here is Gay in possession, passes the ball forward through the middle to Bellingham. Glenn Kamara just came across and stopped his progress. Now Alexander Arnold curls one in from the left-hand side, looking for the run of Kane through the middle, cleared out to Bellingham, and then Alexander Arnold just taps the ball casually to Jude Bellingham. They seem to have built up a great bond, haven't they, those two, Alexander Arnold and Bellingham, off the field, while the conversation goes on about whether Alexander Arnold might end up playing alongside him for his club as well. Here is Cole Palmer cutting in from the right-hand side, then passes it to Alexander Arnold. Bellingham through the middle, Kane on the chase, just turns it to Grealish on the left-hand side. Effectively Kane just keeping it in play there. Then Grealish back to Bellingham, and now Alexander Arnold, ball across the edge of the finish box, and cheers from the home supporters that they have, with a rather a last gasp air about that, managed to scrape it away.
At times it just looks like England are almost too comfortable, John, like it's not got that kind of purpose and tempo, because you know the talent on the pitch is so vast that you feel they could do anything they want. They can't, because Finland have sat in there in quite a disciplined shape, but it feels like it's going to need a little bit of breaking down, this Finnish defence. There's not a lot of space in there, is there? Those 3 centre-backs are very narrow.
Yeah, and then you've got to beat Radetsky, the Bayer Leverkusen goalkeeper, right, the captain behind them as well, who, as we say, had a very good night at Wembley. Schuller thought he was fouled, then Glenn Kamara was fouled, so a free kick to Finland, and they played downfield and concede a throw-in, halfway inside their own half. Stadium absolutely packed. Hot ticket, this one, in Helsinki, as Bellingham is dispossessed illegally by Jensen, who actually shakes his fist in the air. And the referee, I haven't mentioned yet, is from Georgia, Georgi Kruashvili, and I can't remember actually commentating on a match with a Georgian referee before, and he's made it very clear there that he's not going to accept anything like that from Fredrik Jensen.
No, he shouldn't, but I'm not sure it was a foul. I mean, either way, you have to respect the referee's decision, but I think he just gets his body in quite well there, Jensen. Bellingham's already going down to the forward, he puts his hip into him and steals the ball. Really disappointed that the referee blew the whistle.
Lee Carsley is down on his haunches, Marcelo Bielsa style. He likes to do that, doesn't he? Finland 0, England 0. I noticed the Greek coach was doing the same thing the other night, and at times you had both of them down on their haunches. He looked like quite a character, I thought, the coach of Greece. Touch of Andy Warhol about him. Here is Grealish now on the left-hand side. Lovely touch from him. Then plays it back to Alexander Arnold. Low ball in towards Gomez. Gomez flicks it through into the penalty area. Clear chance here for the opening goal for Grealish, and it's in. And Jack Grealish gives England the lead. Scorer in Dublin last month, scorer here in Helsinki tonight. Beautifully worked by England, and Grealish brings a little bit of something to England tonight that they lacked on Thursday. Finland 0, England 1.
Wow, that's a very silky move from England. Angel Gomez, lovely pass round the corner, real controlled possession. Trent Alexander-Arnold fires it into him, and the pass that he finds Grealish is absolutely sublime, to be honest. It's outside of the right boot. He sees the run, he just flicks it inside the defender. Lovely pass. Grealish has the difficulty of when he gets in that situation, he's got all the time in the world, just left of the goal. No pressure on him whatsoever. It's on his right foot. You've got all the time in the world to pick your spot, and you can sometimes get a little bit muddled with your thinking, but very cool and calm, just slots it in that far post, beats Radetsky easily, and a really nicely worked goal for England.
Yeah, lovely. Excellent work from Gomez as well, who is one of those players who, in the very early stages of his England career, has settled in extremely well. Seen a lot of the ball tonight, and quite an inventive pass there from him.
Very, very clever pass. I mean, just to see the run, he receives it with his back to the goal. He touches it to the right a little bit, but in the corner of his eye, seen the run from Grealish from the outside to in, and he's managed this lovely little straight ball with the flick of the outside of his right boot, and just perfect way to pass as well.
So England have got the lead after going behind early in the match against Greece on Thursday night. Falling behind has been a bit of a problem for England. Remember, went behind in every match in the knockout stages at the Euros on the way to the final, and then going behind on Thursday night as well, but that is very much a settler, although Finland have forced a corner here. Their first corner of the match, just down in front of us, down in front of our position. It's going to be swung in by the left back, or the left wing back as he is tonight, Urinen, deep to the back post, but it's over everyone. And it is a goal kick for Dean Henderson to take, and that's a wasted opportunity.
Absolutely, it's exactly what I was thinking. I think you're going to, you have to work hard to earn these set plays, and when you get them, you've got to put the right delivery into the box. We just didn't give any of the attacking players in terms of headers of the ball a chance to get on the end of that and cause England a problem.
So England leading through Jack Grealish's goal, wearing number 17 tonight. That's his 4th England goal on his 39th appearance. He has Kane now carrying the ball forward, but he is dispossessed by Schuller, and then Kane following up, I think has fouled Jensen. Jensen sort of manhandled off the ball and then ran off the field, but it's a free kick to Finland. I think Jack Grealish, certainly for club and for country, will feel that his goal contribution should be higher. But he took that away beautifully, didn't he, from the angle, just stroked it past the goalkeeper.
He did. I mean, it was a lovely run, to be honest. And I think that's the one thing that both those wide players, Palmer and Grealish, make that run lovely.
Here's a ball down the right-hand side for Alho, the right wing back to chase, but Gay got there first, passed it back to Henderson, although Henderson's distribution has given it straight back to Jensen here. Fredrik Jensen, one of the German-based players, plays for Augsburg in the Bundesliga, and back to the halfway line and then all the way back into their own half. Finland goal. Yeah, Jack Grealish, who started both of the internationals last month when there was no Bellingham and no Palmer and no Foden, as the number 10 on the left flank tonight. And in the goals, the opening goal coming in the 18th minute here in Helsinki, with England in possession on the edge of their own penalty area. Alexander-Arnold just draws Keskinen towards him and then keeps the ball on the edge of his own box and begins to walk forward with it. There's more Nations League commentary tomorrow night, but that's on Sports Extra, by the way, the Wales game against Montenegro. And then on Tuesday night, live from Glasgow, Scotland-Portugal is the commentary match here on 5 Live, so that is Tuesday night. Here is Alexander-Arnold, forward towards Bellingham. Bellingham turns and gives it back to him, just a little touch to knock it back into Bellingham's path. And as he moves back towards us, we can clearly see the holes that he's got, Bellingham, in the back of his raisin-coloured socks. Stones now forward towards Kyle Walker, who comes back into his own half and just taps the ball short to Declan Rice. Yep, the goal, I think England were settled anyway, but it's settled them further as Bellingham uses Stones to his right, and then Stones ball forward towards Kane, who comes back towards the halfway line, and then John Stones takes it again, goes on a little bit of a wander, and then passes it to the goal scorer, Jack Grealish, blonde highlighted hair flying as he taps it to Alexander-Arnold. Then it comes back to Harry Kane, who was wearing the golden boots, wasn't he, last time we saw him for England on his 100th cap. Yellow boots tonight. Alexander-Arnold then back in field towards Angel Gomez, then to Stones. Stones is looking for the run of Walker, his clubmate at Manchester City, but up goes Urinen and heads it away, and it's out of play for a throw into England on the right.
Yeah, really controlled possession, and like I say, it's a little bit effortless, isn't it? There's not too much pressure. Finland's sitting right back in. That's when England have to drive the tempo. I think that's the hardest thing about these games, to be honest, John. When you get these passages of play and they're not really looking to get out and press, and you have to probe and find a way through, you've got to have a change of tempo in your football. There's some lovely passing going on, lots of movement off the ball, but just that one player to either make a decisive run or a decisive pass to try and break it up.
Declan Rice inside Finland territory. Declan Rice has started all 4 of Lee Carsley's matches as the interim head coach. Now Alexander-Arnold on the left-hand side, back towards Bellingham. Alexander-Arnold gets it back and goes back into his own half to Mark Gay. Yeah, that central defensive partnership back together for this match, Stones and Gay, that we saw so much of in the summer. Stones is carrying the ball forward, he's almost on the left wing now, John Stones, and then runs out the pitch, and it is a throw-in to the Finns.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing that will make something happen. You know, it's a positive run from John Stones. He's overran it out of play, but he saw the space and thought, I'm just going to drive in there, because you never know. There's a little movement off the ball. You find the pass and it opens up into the space.
Yeah, John Stones racing down that far side of the stadium here, a bit like I'm sure Emil Zatopek did back in 1952.
In what race was that?
Well, he actually won 3 gold medals, all at the distance events. Emil Zatopek,
right?
One of the great names. I mean, this is a great sporting venue, the most northerly venue that has ever hosted the Olympics, Helsinki, and it feels northerly tonight.
Yeah.
There's Keskinen now, has the ball away on the left-hand side. Keskinen, that's a good-looking cross, and it's over everyone. Chalman was in the middle, and Alexander Arnold wins a throw-in off the right wing back, Al Hole.
He's quick, isn't he? Keskinen, he has got some pace. He's very direct. He's on that left-hand side. He's going to run at Kyle Walker, gets round the outside of Walker, left-footed cross into the box. I mean, that is their best hope, isn't it? With Chalman, who's quite a physical presence, is going to put the 2 centre-backs under pressure and try and win a header.
Yes, I enjoyed our little chat yesterday with Topi Keskinen, the Aberdeen man, who is just 21 years old. Quite a find, I think, for Aberdeen, who signed him from HJK, the Helsinki side, for €1 million. As Bellingham concedes a throw-in down the right-hand side, and Al Hole will walk back towards the England dugout to retrieve the ball. Yeah, good pace from Keskinen down the left. But here is Al Hole, the shaven-headed Al Hole, who will take this throw-in towards the corner of the penalty area. It bounces off Chalman. Grealish is back there in his own left-back position, cleared away by Alexander Arnold. Comes out to Camara, the former Rangers and Leeds man. And now, forward from the back, it's being brought by Ivanov up to the left-hand side. Uuranen is there, back to Peltola near the halfway line. And then England force him to go back into his own territory, and actually it'll be passed all the way back to goalkeeper Radetzky. And the press is on here with Harry Kane forcing the long pass forward that Gay heads away, but Finland back in possession with Fredrik Jensen. Jensen keeps his feet well against Gomez, and then Alexander Arnold concedes the throw to Finland. Yeah,
Mark Gay, had a look at the referee. I mean, he looked like he was clearly fouled when challenging for that long ball up the pitch. I think it was Chalman who just bounced into him, knocked him to the floor.
And Gomez has got a problem.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what that was, but it's one of those where he's sat down looking like he's felt something. Whether or not he's the left foot or ankle's being examined, John.
Yeah, so a little bit of a worry with Gomez. It was just that sort of coming together with Jensen, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, I think he was kind of dangling his foot into the tackle. Whether or not he just rolled it or did something, it looked pretty innocuous, to be honest.
Yeah, so he receives treatment. A little bit of a lull around the stadium. They have flags flying all the way around the top of the stadium here, which is really effective. There's a sort of wooden frontage to it as well, and they've kept many of the original touches, although as I was learning here yesterday, this stadium was very heavily bombed during the Second World War and almost destroyed. And actually what I didn't know was that the original plan was to host the 1940 Olympics here in Helsinki, and of course the Second World War put an end to that, and eventually it was 1952 when the Czech locomotive, Emil Zatopek, was one of the stars of the games. Here's Schuller, left-footed ball out towards the left-hand side. Uuranen, here's Keskinen, now Topi Keskinen just gets away from Palmer, but Kyle Walker was there as another line of defence. Walker backheels it. I think he was trying to backheel it into the Finnish player, Keskinen, and now Peltola to the edge of the area. Chalman tries the shot, that's blocked on the edge of the box. Keskinen now bounces for him, they're appealing for offside. Keskinen swings it across, but actually the ball was already out, according to the Georgian assistant referee, and it is a goal kick to England, who lead 1-0.
Yeah, they got a couple of nice passes off there, Finland. Got the ball into Chalman. I mean, he was off balance when he had his effort on goal, always stretching for the ball. England, Gehi again, getting out and blocking really well. He started well, Mark Gehi, at the back for England. Made a couple of nice blocks, interceptions, physically getting up against Chalman and making life difficult.
Poor pass from John Stones. Now Finland are back in action again, and the ball is played across from the far side. Took a deflection, actually, all the way across the penalty area from Keskinen's effort, and that carried it out for another corner to Finland.
Well, Alho's going over to take this one. He needs to put good quality into the box for Finland. He's a right footer, so it's an outswinger.
Yeah, well, Uronen, who took the last one and wasted it quite badly, he's straight off, one and off. Yeah. So Alho, Nikolai Alho, one of the 5 players who've come into the Finland side tonight. His corner into the near post, cleared away by Alexander Arnold, who sort of...
That is no better.
No, it wasn't. It was a comfortable sort of karate kick style clearance.
We need Uronen back on.
Come back, all is forgiven. Throw in for Alho, all the way back to Hoskonen, and now across to Peltola, and out to Uronen. There he is, over on the far side. He actually plays for Dean Smith, his MLS side, Charlotte, in the United States. Here's Alho now, gets the ball down. Alho, little step over, comes infield, left-footed ball to the edge of the box, but John Stone steps forward and passes it actually all the way to Kane on the halfway line, who's all on his own, and now he's getting support, and Kane finds the arriving Rice on the halfway line. Now here's Cole Palmer on the right flank. Cole Palmer drifting infield as he likes to do, curls the ball in towards the penalty spot, where Hoskinen's able to come across and clear it away. And I think Bellingham thought for a moment they'd fallen awkwardly, but he's climbing back to his feet inside the penalty area. Finland 0, England 1. If you've just joined us on 5 Live tonight, we'll have more on all of the earlier events that we've been covering, more on the Women's Super League, that win for Manchester City at Anfield against Liverpool before the match last month at Wembley. The last time that England and Finland played each other was at Anfield, back when Sven-Göran Eriksson was the manager, who of course we were remembering on that day at Wembley last month. And I know that the Finnish coach Markku Kanerva felt that Sven-Göran Eriksson was an inspiration for all of the Nordic countries and all of the football operations, and was sadly missed here as well. Here is Gomez on the halfway line. Gomez, little pass to Rice, and then back to Stones, and England cross the halfway line again. No, they don't. Gay actually goes square to Stones, just puts his foot on the ball and then knocks it across again to Gay. Bellingham comes a little deeper to receive the ball and then passes it. Alexander Arnold infield, and now Grealish just drifts over towards the left-hand side with the ball at his feet. Back to Bellingham. Bellingham just waiting, patient. Finland drop off, everyone behind the ball as England have possession, just keeping the ball inside Finland territory. Gomez through to Rice, and then Cole Palmer. Now back to Walker. Walker with a high pass, cross-field, down onto the chest of Alexander Arnold, who's able to chest that down. Lovely touch it was as well, chested it down, first touch, brought it down. Now Bellingham, back to Grealish. Grealish turns, looking for Jude Bellingham, but comes in field, and then puts his foot on the ball again. A little touch from him to Bellingham at close quarters. They look as though they're enjoying playing together, those three, don't they? Bellingham and Alexander Arnold and Grealish. Now it's out to Palmer on the right-hand side. Rice makes himself available there, and England have had a long period of possession, which ends now because Kyle Walker gave it away, and suddenly they're off on the counter-attack. Finland attacking Stones. John Stones backpedaling, then the shot from Keskinen, but it's straight at Henderson, who's able to gather it into his midriff.
I mean, those situations, John Stones usually, and did then, was very, very calm. Being ran at, he gets his body shape really well, and he directs the play where he wants it to go. This time it's on the outside, onto the left foot. I mean, he gets a shot off straight down the throat of Henderson, but as a centre-back, job done there, because you've put him in a position where you want him. Give the goalkeeper the viewpoint and the eye line to the ball, and let him have an effort on goal, or if he gets a shot off, that's not a problem, because you're in a position where you're comfortable with that.
5 Live from the BBC. It's 1-0 to England. There will be a special Nations League 606 on the air tonight from round about 7:30, and it is Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. So I'll let you know when the lines are open, probably at half-time. That's the usual drill on a Sunday afternoon. Here is Stones through towards Gomez, and then back to Mark Gay on the halfway line. And now Grealish takes possession. Grealish coming in with Gordon, one of the the 6 changes that Lee Carsley made. Changed over half his team after the events of Thursday. Stones through the middle to Kane, now it's back to Gomez, and then Angel Gomez, who, whatever the little problem was, seems okay now. Bellingham, back again to Alexander-Arnold, and then short pass to Bellingham, who looks up, goes for the driven ball to Rice inside the box, who takes it down. They've not cleared it, comes back to Rice, who then shoots goalwards, and it took a flick off the defender, which carried it wide for an England corner.
That's a pass. That is a pass and a half from Jude Bellingham. Lovely drilled ball on his right foot, sees the run of Declan Rice, just floats it perfectly. It's a tough one for Rice to bring down because he has to jump and kind of try and catch the ball with his right foot, but his touch brings him back onto his left, and a recovering player just makes it difficult, gets a blocking, but lovely ball from Bellingham.
Yeah, we were right behind the line of that,
it just the flight of it was lovely, just dropped, didn't it?
Yeah, it's almost javelin-like in the Olympic Stadium. Here's Palmer with a high corner, which is headed up by Gay and over the top of the bar. He was claiming that it was a deflection, but it did look to me as though Gay's was the final touch, and it's a goal kick.
I mean, he's got forward a lot, Declan Rice, hasn't he? He's got that freedom with Gomez in there to get forward, and he has done. I've quite liked the interchange of the kind of front 3 players as well. I think Grealish has been inside the pitch a lot. Bellingham will then come wide. Palmer's coming off. I think they're finding space and pockets quite well, given that it's so congested. Finland are just sat back in their own half with not much space between the lines.
England leading by 1-0. Jack Grealish scoring his 4th goal for England here tonight. Gomez does well, comes across, good interception tackle on the right wing for Finland. Throw in, ball back in play in the centre circle. It's headed by Schuller for Finland, then Peltola to Uronen over there on the far side. Little figure, the Finland team in the almost all-white kit, but the front of it mirrors the Finland flag, so you've got a big blue cross down the right side of the body and across the chest. Comes back to the edge of the Finland penalty area, and Hoskonen, then back to Ivanov with his Russian family links. Well, actually, where we sit here, we are less than 200 miles away from the Russian border. As Finland played up the left-hand side, it's deflected out of play for a throw-in. That looked like a foul throw by Uronen, but Peltola will just walk it forward with less than 10 minutes of the first half to go here in Helsinki. The home supporters trying to lift their team as it's given away on the edge of the box. That could have gone anywhere, but it bounced off Gomez and back to Ivanov. And now Peltola. Urnan's made good ground down the left-hand side. He's over the halfway line. Glenn Kamara takes it up. Then a pass. Here's Keskinen now, the Aberdeen man with a chance perhaps to have a run, but Palmer comes across and forces it, and it's deflected back towards the halfway line. Glenn Kamara, again, the former Arsenal youngster. Kamara is just going to give it back to the back line again. Kamara. Not too many options for him, so goes full 360 degrees. Then Keskinen. The run's been made down the left-hand side, but the challenge from John Stones is a good one. Tackles it out of play for a throw down the left.
Yeah, they haven't really got that speed of passing, have they, Finland? I think they're fully going to rely on winning a ball somewhere in an advanced position and then being close to the goal. I mean, the build-up play, once England gets set in and they get their position and their shape, you just can't see Finland breaking them down.
They need Alho, the right-back, who heads it infield. It bounces now for the chance for Jensen, Fredrik Jensen, right side of the box, but got right underneath the shot and sent it high over the top of Henderson's crossbar and just pulls the front of his shirt up over his face.
It's a chance, and it's their best chance in terms of they've hit a long ball. It's a sweeping diagonal, really good pass actually. It's Alho who gets really back from the forward from the wing-back position, and the opportunity, if he just gets his upper body over the ball, Jensen, and keeps it low, that would have really troubled Henderson.
Goal kick for England that Dean Henderson takes, winning his second cap here tonight. That was, even though Alexander-Arnold's playing at left back, that was the big surprise in the team news tonight, that Jordan Pickford was left out among the substitutes. Finland come again down the right-hand side, and Chelman uses Jensen. Jensen There's Camera is available, 25 yards out. Gomez, little flick from Camera, and then back to Peltola, closer towards the halfway line. Camera, then back to Peltola again, and now it's England who set off Finland. As all of these Finnish supporters are actually just to our left, many of them wearing gloves, are clapping in unison. Ball through the middle, which is turned to Jensen. Little poke from him to Alho. Alho's high cross into the England penalty area, headed down calmly by Walker, and then Rice back to Stones, and England passing it out from their own defensive third. Palmer back to Walker, whose ball up the line is headed infield by Rice, but then possession back with Finland on the halfway line. Just over 5 minutes of the first half to go. Just the one goal, Grealish's goal, means that England have the lead. The other match in the group kicks off at 7:45 tonight, when Greece play Republic of Ireland in Piraeus. Ball over the top for Finland, a twisting header. He got up between Gay and Alexander Arnold. Did Chelman, but could only head it up, and it landed on the roof of the net.
That's why he's been picked, isn't it, Chelman? He is a threat physically. He's got a big leap, peels off the back of Mark Gay. Just a little clip diagonal into the penalty box. I mean, it's a very difficult ball to get any purchase on to score from, but it's certainly their best attempt. If they can create any space and he can pull off the shoulder of the centre-back, he's always on for that diagonal clip to the back post.
1-0 England. Here's Bellingham in a tight situation, but uses his body and uses his strength, and is able to turn and wriggle away from the two challengers and give the ball to Grealish, who's now making ground, ball at his feet. Jack Grealish, it's almost his trademark style there, as Gomez tries to find another pass through to the edge of the area. That one's intercepted, and Finland clear it away towards the halfway line, where John Stones will turn it back forward towards Kyle Walker. Did wonder whether he might think about international retirement, Kyle Walker, after the tournament, which he has considered before, but not a bit of it, and he is closing in on 100 caps, which I would think would be quite a carrot. But a foul on the halfway line on Big Chelman, free kick to Finland.
You'd think making 100 caps would be, that's an incredible achievement, isn't it? When you're that close, you'd think you just keep going. If you can keep getting picked, keep getting on the pitch and achieve that personally, it would be an amazing feat.
Yeah, I'm sure that's in his mind.
Yeah.
He's probably talked about it on the podcast.
Well, have you not been listening, John? But you've been tuning in.
Never miss one. Here's Arlo now on the right. Alho with the right-footed ball infield that is stretched for by Gay. Now Gomez and Jack Grealish back inside his own half. Yeah, he's a strong guy, isn't he? Chelman, a number 19, yes, through the middle.
Yes, and you can tell he likes leaping, competing, putting himself about that front line. That's his, that's what he does, and he does it quite effectively.
He plays his football in Poland for Cracovia. But Poyenpalo, who scored against Ireland, on the bench tonight. It was Poyenpalo who scored the Finland goal at Euro 2020, when Finland qualified for a major tournament for the first and only time. And Markku Kanerva, their coach, he was the man who took them there. So even though he's going through some difficult times now, Kanerva, as England played out from the back, Declan Rice just shields the ball and keeps possession, and then Rice plays it forward, and Alexander Arnold is already off on the move and over the halfway line, and Alexander Arnold passes it to Grealish, and Grealish up against Alho, flicks it across, Bellingham at the touch, couldn't get a clean shot in, it was blocked by a defender, and eventually Radetzky's able to clear.
Yeah, Finland higher up the pitch, and England passed the ball out really well. Trent Alexander-Arnold made that driving run into the middle of the pitch. You feel like when England do something with the purpose like that, John, they're going to open Finland up. It's just choosing the right time to do it, making the right incisive pass, and they're in. I mean, Bellingham really is a little bit stretched for his touch, but it was another good opportunity England had carved out there.
Yes. Finland 0, England 1. Alexander-Arnold, how do you think he's got on so far as the left back?
I think it's been okay in terms of defensively. He's done his role. There hasn't been too much for him to deal with, but he will come in, and it's a different passing angle for him, isn't it? He's played a lot of balls inside the pitch. If he steps inside, he's got that nice one whipped up the line to Grealish as well, but he's popping up everywhere, John, isn't he? I mean, he's in midfield half the time.
Yeah, as the ball is played back to Radetzky, and the Finland goalkeeper plays it out. They very nearly lost possession on the edge of their own penalty area, but then it's played forward by Charlotte Camera, who I think was nudged into, certainly made it. I think he won the foul there. The challenge came in from Walker, but Camera knew that it was coming and made himself off balance, won the free kick, but it was a foul, and it's taken quickly, and Finland have it again on the halfway line. Yes, Marko Kanerva, the coach, has I think got a bit of credit in the bank.
Yeah.
And therefore, even though they've been having these difficult times, and they were in the playoffs to get to the Euros in Germany, but if you remember, lost heavily in Cardiff against Wales in the semi-final, so were knocked out at that stage, but they've given him a new contract through to the end of the next World Cup. Here's Alho.
And they've only won once this year, though, haven't they?
That's right, that Estonia, yeah, in a friendly. So there is pressure building, so they could do with a performance and something tonight. Do him no harm at all. Gomez loses possession. Now played through by Peltonen. Shot from the angle from Chelman, but he was offside. Saved in any case by Henderson, straight at him. But offside flag was up.
Yeah, you can see he's offside straight away. It was tight, very tight. Ball gets turned over. It's actually a decent pass into him, fires it in, but he just pulls off the shoulder of Stones too quickly.
Yeah, we're in a great position to see that, as Gomez asks a lot of Henderson with a pacey pass back to him, but he dealt with it very well. And we've got 2 minutes of added time, which is being shown on the massive screens that are hanging from the roof at either side of the ground. But they didn't have those in 1952.
It always feels like there's a bit of a slope in this stadium. Maybe it's because the roof is kind of drops down, but I don't know if it's an optical illusion. I just feel like we're sitting on a slope.
I hadn't thought that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ball is played back to Henderson. Right-footed clearance from him. Palmer comes back, but doesn't get there, and it bounces out of play into the massive advertising hoardings on the far side as well. There wouldn't have been any of those either at the Olympics. That Olympic theme, by the way, our colleague Carthy Nanasegram sent me a text to say it's John Williams who composed what is the official Olympic fanfare. That's what we were hearing.
Which is what that was
before the match.
Well, that couldn't have been that long ago.
No, good point. Yeah. But it's become very much. They play it when the medal ceremonies and all that. Long ball forward for Finland, but just drops into the arms of Henderson, who is able to catch it. So 1-0 England lead, and so far so good. It's a controlled performance, although Finland have had chances.
Yes, they have. I think we've had a couple of scares, actually, certainly one early on, and they've looked capable of doing something, but without having that real piece of quality at the end, and that is Finland's problem, really, isn't it? I mean, they just don't have that moment of quality to really put the ball in the back of the net. But England have had some good passages of play, have looked really comfortable. If anything, at times we just look almost too relaxed, John, to be honest, with the ball, and you feel like we need to just be a bit more punchy and try and make it happen.
And here's an example of this, as Finland break forward, England in possession but lose possession, and then Chelman, big burly Chelman with his massive shoulders, sends the ball across but out for a throw-in on the far side. And that is it for the first half here, and England leading through the 18th minute goal, the well-worked goal from Jack Grealish, who I'm watching now just pulling his hairband off as he walks towards the dressing room at half-time, and England leading against the team at the bottom of the group here in Helsinki.
Yeah, better balance to the team, I think, is the main thing I would take out of that first half. I think Gomez has been influential in midfield, just pulling strings, keeping the ball moving, mainly sideways and backwards, but got forward to put a lovely little pass through to Jack Grealish for the goal, which was the real key piece of quality in the game, which is the difference at the moment. England haven't created a massive amount of chances, but plenty of possession and look very, very comfortable.
Yep, so there we are, Jack Grealish just disappearing down the tunnel. A new father as well. He spoke to us earlier in the week. Ian Dennis did a lovely interview with him, actually, which I think is still on the Football Daily feed. You'll be able to find it there when he was talking about that. So Jack Grealish's goal, the only goal that we've seen so far at half-time here, Finland 0, England 1.
Yeah, I think John Murray, Ian Dennis asked him whether or not he would do the thumb-sucking celebration, and he did. So I think we could say it was Ian Dennis inspired.
Well, probably more baby inspired.
No, well, you know, we're 50-50, some have said. Matt, fairly controlled then?
Yeah, I think that sums it up well. Fairly controlled. It's not, totally dominant, because Finland do look like they could cause a problem, but at times it's almost too comfortable, Steve. With the way they sit off, you feel like it just needs a gear change more often. When we do change gear, we open them up, and the quality and the little movements and passes is very, very good. But at 1-0, it's still a little bit edgy, and I think they'll be wanting to kill the game off and be a little bit more, have more precision with the play, and to be a little bit more direct at times, I feel, just to make it happen and get another goal.
Who do you think should be more complimented that you get confused sometimes for Phil Jagielka?
Well, obviously, Phil.
I was quite happy, to be honest, Matt. I was delighted.
Yeah. John loved it, I have to say. I mean, you haven't forgotten, have you?
Well, the question now needs to be asked, has Phil ever been mistaken for Matt Upson?
I haven't. Michael Dawson once or twice, but not Matt Upson. Sorry, so it must just be a centre-half thing.
Yeah.
They always just shout your surname as well, don't they?
They sort of bark your name at you. Yeah, it's quite amusing.
Yeah.
Jagielka, what did you think of that first half from England?
It was quite aggressive as well, the way it was said, John, wasn't it? It wasn't a nice Jagielka, was it? It was an Jagielka.
So you're saying they weren't happy to see me, which was you, and
no.
I'm quite confused here.
Anyway. As we were walking away from it, we heard this Jagielka shout coming out from this group of lads in a bar.
Yeah. It won't be the first time.
Matt just nudged me and he said, "They think I'm Jagielka."
Yeah.
Walk on. It's one of those walk-on moments.
Yeah. Good goal though, Phil, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. Matt said, we looked like a team. Right people in the right places, lovely couple of passes, couple of reverse passes, and a lovely goal for Jack. Nice celebration, obviously thumb in the mouth, so job done for him. But no, we'd like to see more. We'd like to see more sort of emphasis on getting forward and putting them under pressure, because I do think they are quite weak at the back. But again, it's difficult. You're away from home, it's an international game, you're winning 1-0, and so far so good, but potentially can get better.
Does the quality of the opposition come into it as well? And I don't mean that to sound critical, because actually Finland have had some good chances, but sometimes is there a limit to how much you can express yourselves when the opposition is of this level?
I think so. I think if you're going into a game and if you give the ball away in your own half, there's a good chance the team's going to score or at least create something against you. You're stimulated in a different way, whereas when you're against a team what you expect it to beat, and potentially you could give up 3 or 4 good chances to them, and then they potentially, as they have done in the first half, not really do the best with it. You do play slightly different. So that's the situation we're in with this. Obviously, the league we're in the Nations League, is, the teams we're playing against aren't in the sort of top 10 or 15 in the world, and sometimes it's a little bit complacent. You don't go out there on a purpose to be complacent. You just know that maybe you will take risks you wouldn't potentially take in wrong areas against better opposition, if that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, well, you can't be complacent on 5 Live, because there could be another power cut in Helsinki and then you'll be back on live.
Fantastic. So, on your toes, is that what you're telling me?
Always on your toes.
Nice.
Right, coming up next, we will get some reaction to some of the day's sports stories. So we'll be talking Manchester United. You will have heard earlier their 3-0 win over Tottenham Hotspur. We're going to hear from Captain Maya Letizia and head coach Mark Skinner. We'll get into the rugby union as well. Harlequins beat Saracens by 17 points to 10. Big victory for them. We're going to hear from the player of the match, Finn Baxter, and then we'll be back for second half commentary in Finland, where England lead by 1-0. Let's get the news now on 5 Live with Stuart Clarkson.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Steve, thank you. UN peacekeepers say Israel must explain what have been described as shocking new violations by its troops in southern Lebanon. They say 2 Israeli tanks forcibly entered one of their bases early this morning, destroying a main gate. 15 peacekeepers needed treatment. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called on the UN Secretary-General to remove United Nations peacekeepers from areas where Israeli forces are in close combat with Hezbollah fighters. A major step's been taken towards reusing spacecraft and cutting down the huge expense of space travel. It's after the successful launch and landing of a SpaceX Starship rocket in the Gulf of Mexico. A murder investigation started after a man was shot dead in East London early this morning. The victim, who was in his 30s, was found injured in Barking and died at the scene. And President Biden is visiting Florida to see the devastation brought by Hurricanes Milton and Helene. He said more than $500 million will be made available to restore power grids. 3 million homes and businesses are still without electricity there.
Voting has begun. Debates have been debated.
You're going to hear a bunch of lies and name calling.
She's been so bad, it's so ridiculous.
And the race for the White House is well underway. This week on 5 Live, I'll be live in the USA speaking to voters who are making up their minds.
You need Trump back as president.
Let's not go back. It's time to turn the page.
Matt Shawley.
Listen Tuesday from 2.
On BBC Radio 5 Live. This is 5 Live Sports.
With Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Welcome back to 5 Live Sport. England lead in Finland by 1-0 in the Nations League. We've got second half commentary for you on the way. Right now on 5 Sports Extra, you can listen to live commentary of India versus Australia at the Women's T20 World Cup. India are currently 90 for 3 in that one, so they need 62 runs in 36 balls if they are to be victorious. We'll hear more about England's win over Scotland earlier today, Manchester United continued their perfect start to the new WSL season. They beat Spurs 3-0. We can hear from United captain Maya Le Tissier after head coach Mark Skinner.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say I liked the result more than the performance. I felt first half we had the domino effect where we tried to press and we pressed late, and all of a sudden Tottenham used the space around us very well. I felt Tottenham were a threat first half, and I felt they played well. But I said to the girls before the game, if you want to win something, winners find a way to win. And even if we don't play well today, you've got to find a way to win, and we've done that. So the result is fantastic. Another clean sheet, another 3 points against a very difficult opponent. But from our perspective, there's loads we can improve on the performance.
It was good. The first 15-20 minutes, I think they had about 20 corners. So we had to stick it out. We didn't start as well as we wanted to. We were really off our jewels, but I think they pressed slightly different to what we thought they were going to do. And we need to adapt quicker. But after that, our attackers kind of finished it down the other end, and great balls in by Celine, and obviously Tess was in the box to finish. So it just shows why we're such a strong team.
Mark Skinner and then Maya Le Tissier. Elsewhere in the WSL today, finished Aston Villa 0, Leicester City 0, Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1. Manchester City won 2-1 at Anfield against Liverpool, and it finished 1-1 in the game between Everton and West Ham United. Some sad news from the world of rugby union. The former Ireland and British and Irish Lions captain Ronnie Dawson has died at the age of 92. He captained Ireland 11 times, led the Lions on their 1959 tour of Australia, New Zealand and Canada. He played in 6 tests as Lions captain. That was a record later equalled by Martin Johnson. In the Premiership today, Harlequins beat Saracens 17-10 at the Stoop. That win ends a run of 8 straight derby defeats for Quins. Player of the match, Finn Baxter, spoke afterwards to our correspondent Chris Jones about his first ever win over Saracens.
It's awesome in the short career I've had so far. We haven't had much success, and so doing it here as well has been pretty cool.
Did it feel good all week that this was the day you were going to break that long losing run?
I mean, to be honest, not particularly. I mean, we came in midweek with the England camp earlier, and it was mainly just organisation and getting up to scratch as fast as we could with our detail, and then we had luckily come today, and the boys really fronted up on top of that.
Long season, I know we're only 4 rounds in, but the kind of win that you can really hang your hat on.
It's something to be really proud of, and with the Prem being so crazy, everyone beating everyone, you don't know quite what's going to happen. It's a good one to hold.
Yeah. And for you personally, Finn, man of the match there, a try in the England camp. Steve names his squad on Wednesday. You must feel very happy about life and how everything's going at the sort of early stage of your career, but so much you're ticking off along the way.
Yeah, it all comes so quickly, but I'm trying to take it all in as it comes, and not just brush it off to almost not feel that added pressure, because that's what it is now. And I'm thinking of dealing with it well.
Really good interview, that. Elsewhere, England beat Scotland by 10 wickets in their Women's T20 World Cup match in Sharjah, chasing down 109 in only 10 overs. So England take a step closer to the semi-finals. Scotland have been playing for pride anyway in their final match at this World Cup. Here's Henry Moran.
It has been a hammering. It really has. And with the bat, England's so impressive. Massive boost to their net run rate. Massive boost to their confidence. Scotland's tournament comes to an end. Their first T20 international against England has been a rather chastening experience. Their first World Cup filled with memories. No wins, but a taste of the big time in international cricket, and they'll be back, no question. For England, their march towards the semi-finals continues. What we do know as an absolute certainty, Tash Farron, is that England have been mighty impressive.
Yeah, they've been absolutely brilliant, and that partnership was just fantastic to watch. They were really positive. They pounced on anything loose from Scotland. They did get quite a few loose balls, but they were able to access that boundary often. They got off to a flyer, and then they just continued on. They got that score, no wickets down. They did brilliantly. These two are probably the fittest, up there with the fittest in the England team. They're absolutely exhausted. They ran well, they found the boundary with ease. They did brilliantly, but disappointment for Scotland. They weren't able to pick up a win in this tournament, but they've got to be proud of themselves. Getting to their first T20 World Cup, it's almost the first taste for them of cricket at this level, so they've done brilliantly. They should, be proud of themselves to be able to get here.
And England didn't need to go to anyone else. They had enough, more than enough, to chase down 113 in 10 overs, which is going some. It really is, and that is exactly what they would have been looking for. And ahead of that West Indies game, it's a big confidence boost as well.
Yeah, it is a big confidence boost, and also Lauren Bell got a go today. She bowled really well. England bowled brilliantly in that first innings. Lauren Bell came into the team, started up nicely, showed us her new slower ball that she's been working on. Sophie Exton was brilliant as well. So they did the first half of the job, but then Danny Wyatt-Hodge and Maya Boucher, they were the ones who will take the limelight because they just batted absolutely brilliantly, found the boundary with ease. Everything was almost hitting the middle of Maya Boucher's bat. She had a good turnaround because she struggled in that last game against South Africa. So she came back strong, batted brilliantly, and England will be a very happy camp.
One player that really does seem to be performing well in the crunch moments is Danny Wyatt-Hodge, who was absolutely outstanding today. She's had to work hard this tournament, goodness me. She both matches that we've seen here, the last couple of games at Sharjah, she's looked absolutely exhausted by the end of it. Part of that unbroken partnership of 113 to help England to victory today. She made 51 off just 26 deliveries. Really impressive performance, and she's been chatting to Daniel Norcross.
You look, I have to say, a little bit less knackered than you did the last time I spoke to you on this ground.
Oh, I feel even more, actually. Every game I keep saying that was really hard, that was. But yeah, what an incredible effort by Maya Boucher. Really, really happy for her. And yeah, it was very hard work out there, but we wanted to finish off as quick as we could, and we did that today.
And if you want to head over to 5 Sports Extra, you can get commentary of the conclusion of India versus Australia. Deepti and Kaur both very well set. Two batters very much in on 25 and 34. They need 46 from 27, India, to beat Australia. Looks like that's going to be a thrilling finish. Phil Jagielka, what do you want to see from England in the second half here?
Just to play with a purpose, I think they'll be quite comfortable with the result as it is at the moment, but we'd like to go out there, get some more goals, give them probably less chances than we did in the first half, but I'm sure there'll be some substitutions at some point, but no, just sort of play as if we're sort of losing. Maybe just give it a bit more emphasis and take the game to the finish, boys, and come away with a few more goals.
So after second half commentary, we'll wrap things up, hopefully bring you some live interviews before we hand you over to 606. Both sets of players back out on the pitch. John Murray.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Welcome back to Helsinki, everyone. Finland 0, England 1. Jack Grealish, the goal scorer in the 18th minute. I don't think we're going to see any changes at the start of the second half, so the teams as they started. Finland with Radetsky in goal. At the back, Alhol, Hoskonen, Ivanov, Peltola and Uranen, so 3 central defenders. Then in midfield, Schuller and Kamara, with Jensen on the right, Keskinen on the left and Chelman through the middle. And the England team, Lee Carsley making 6 changes from Thursday night. So Dean Henderson is in for his first start for England, is only his second cap, with Jordan Pickford on the bench. Walker, Stones, Gay and Alexander-Arnold as Finland kick off in the second half. Then in midfield, Gomez and Rice, with Palmer, Bellingham, Grealish and captain Harry Kane. The England supporters, just over 1,500 of them, strike up their song to bring in the second half, as Alexander-Arnold at left back just concedes a throw-in, which is taken quickly. Mark Gay was sharp on that though, and he is fouled, and Jensen doesn't like it, but it's a free kick to England. Let's hear from Matt Upson for the first time in the second half.
Yeah, very quick from Gehi there into the left back position, ball over the top, uses his body, manoeuvres Jensen out the way, and then gets his kind of leg across the ball and takes the contact and goes down and wins the foul. But Yeah, no changes to either team, but I'd just like to see England a little bit more, with more purpose when they have the ball, driving forwards, being a bit more punchy with their play. It's okay having possession and controlling the game, but you want a few more of those moments where they're creating chances and need to bury this game, really.
Yeah, 1-0. They'll be looking to at least double that and have a result that puts Thursday out of their minds. You know, we shouldn't overlook the fact that Greece were excellent on Thursday, and with everything else, you know, surrounding the dreadful death of George Baldock, you know, I think the way that they played, the spirit that they had, I think they would have caused problems for any team. However, it was more about the disjointed nature of the England performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they were exceptional, but it'd have been nice to have kind of seen them against maybe a different structure in the team, and whether or not they'd have had so much joy and so many attacking opportunities, we'll never know.
That's Matt Upson as England lose possession, and now it's being carried forward to the edge of the area. Chelman could be in, here comes infield, but Gay stretches and is just able to work the ball away. England careless again there, and we saw too much of that in the first half, and there's the first instance in the second.
Yeah, real opportunity, just opened up, and all of a sudden you've got your centre-backs kind of defending one-on-one situations in the box. You know, it happens so quickly, just a little bit careless with the ball, and then it turns over, and your two centre-halves are under pressure. They've dealt with it, and I think Angel Gomez got back in and just got a toe to the ball to clear it, but it's just a scruffy look, John, isn't it? It's a vulnerable feel that England do have when that ball's in the midfield sometimes.
Yeah. England here in Helsinki for the first time since 2000, when Martin Keown captained the team for the only time for that 0-0 draw under Howard Wilkinson as the caretaker manager. 1-0 tonight. Here's Grealish, the man who scored that goal, trying to find his way into the penalty area. It bounces off the defender, and actually it's been kept in there by Jensen, and he's given possession back to England, who have it just outside the penalty area as they attack from left to right as we look here. And now Alexander-Arnold on the left flank, actually I think tried to catch the goalkeeper out there and went for goal at the near post, but got it all wrong and just chipped it tamely wide of the near post.
Yeah, I think he tried to bend it with the outside of his right boot, John. This is what we're talking about beforehand in terms of he's not got that natural cross inside onto on his right side. So he's put the ball onto his right foot and tried to bend it with the outside of it to produce that kind of left-footed cross.
Well, he's having a look at this, Lee Carsley, tonight, but I mean, that's an illustration there of why you need a left footer at left back.
Absolutely, because, you know, when you're in the flow as a fullback running up the pitch, you just want to be able to not even think about it and just whip it in, which is what he does brilliantly with his right foot. It's really hard to create that with the outside of the right boot on the left side.
Yeah, and you know, I know they have looked at other left backs as the ball is played forward now, and into the penalty area it goes with Bellingham twisting and turning, and then Hoskonen gets the challenge and just takes the ball away from Bellingham. That was a real opening, that, and England didn't take advantage.
No, he didn't. I felt he should have come inside. Hoskonen did really well.
Alexander-Arnold's going to try a shot from 30 yards, but Radetzky just dealt with that easily, quickly to his right and held on.
Yeah, you're going to have to go some to beat this goalkeeper from that kind of range. You're not going to be able to bobble one along the floor and beat him at his near post.
Yeah, Radetzky of the Bayer Leverkusen team of last season under Xabi Alonso, which didn't lose until the final match in all competitions when they were in the final, the Europa League final in Dublin. Here come England with Grealish. Grealish turns and gives it back towards the halfway line. Who would you like to see in the second half for England, Matt? I'll give you a moment just to have a little think about that. As Stones brings it forward from the centre circle. Now here's Cole Palmer in a more central area. Palmer flicks it to Kane. Kane brings it down, turns, passes it to Grealish. Grealish into the box. Now he's got support coming from Alexander-Arnold, but actually he just lost possession of the ball, most un-Grealish, like a heavy touch, and away it went.
Madueke, I feel.
Me too.
He's the player for me that when he comes on, he is desperate. He's got a point to prove.
Yeah, I'd like to see Madueke and Palmer on the pitch for England.
I think he's really desperate to make things happen. His substitute appearances have been great.
Here's Palmer though. Palmer now to Walker, who pulls it back. A stretch away, comes out to Palmer. Left foot shot, but Radetzky down to his right is able just to kill it with his hands and then gather.
He made that look easy, the goalkeeper, didn't he? That wasn't that easy, that save. It was through bodies. It was bouncing along the floor. lovely technique, and he just reads it so well. Walker on the overlap, cuts it back, it gets cleared to the edge of the box, and Palmer hits it first time, left foot. But his anticipation there, Radetzky, to know that Palmer's going to go for that corner, get down, and just effortless, really, the way he dealt with it.
Yeah, all in very bright orange. Radetzky, who has lost this season with Leverkusen. They were beaten by RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga, but that's their only defeat so far. Won both of their matches in the Champions League, and could go some distance, I suspect, in that competition.
Dashed for the bottle hat at half-time.
Yes, I've had a change, it has, yeah. Well, there's a foul by Mark Gay and a free kick to Finland, 10 yards inside their own half. Yeah, it's a coolish night now, after lovely sunshine during the course of the day, but as I say, this was the most northerly venue which has held the Summer Olympics. I should add to that, just in case there are anyone who is...
I should imagine if we come here a couple of weeks later, it will be very cold. It's going to change quickly.
Well, the clocks will change as well in a couple of weeks' time, there won't be. It'll be plunged into darkness. Finland 0, England 1. Went downstairs onto the concourse at half-time as well. Went into the toilets on the concourse. They are the loveliest toilets I think I've seen in a sporting ground, like a high-end hotel. Here's Walker. Walker turns, plays it back over the halfway line. Declan Rice goes back to John Stones.
The game's not that bad, John. Do we need to be talking about the toilet?
Rating the toilets. Here's Rice, the Olympic Stadium toilets. Rice forward to Walker, then goes back into his own half, and Rice actually is forced to take it all the way back into the right back area, chips it down the line to Palmer, who just keeps it in, and then Kyle Walker is going to bring it forward, but turns it back to Gomez, now to the left-hand side to Bellingham. And England finally get out of their own half there, and then Bellingham goes back to Gay on the halfway line. Yeah, the fixtures and fittings were different, but I'm sure in those areas you could almost feel that they would have been talking inside those four walls about Emil Zatopek. Here's Rice, Palmer now has Walker to his right, then to Bellingham, middle of the Finland half, Gomez and Declan Rice, and Finland, who were difficult to break down at Wembley, are proving quite obdurate here tonight. All the way back it goes to Dean Henderson, who has had to make a couple of saves. Palmer then with a first-time pass. Kane, lovely balance. He feeds Walker down the right-hand side. Walker pulls it back. Now it's an absolutely packed Finland penalty area that England, in these purpley grey shirts, are trying to find a way through. Gomez. Now Rice with his arms outstretched.
I'm not sure why Walker just doesn't put that ball in that. He might not have spotted somebody in the red zone in terms of ideal place to score, but that's not his job. Like, put it in there, and if people aren't arriving in the box, then that's the inquiry after. But you cut back and, like you say, slow it all down. So many white shirts, then in the 18-yard box, the whole chance is just over, and now England are back in their own half.
Yeah, Grealish again just keeps his balance as the ball runs across the halfway line. I hope you're enjoying the Nordic chanting that you can hear in the background. It's a sort of sound that you don't hear very often, isn't it? Lots of oohs and ahs. Here's Stones to his left, to Gay, and now over there on the far side, Alexander-Arnold receives it from Bellingham, but it's just walking football this from England as Gomez turns. Rice has a man either side of him. Now Cole Palmer. If there's anyone that can find space, you would think it would be him, named this week as the England Player of the Year, even though he didn't start any of the matches at the Euros, but the way that he set up the goal for Watkins in the semi-final, and then of course scoring against Spain in the final to make it 1-1 for that time, the youngest man to score for England in a major final. Here's Bellingham, keeps his feet nicely. Palmer might have been offside, got the ball inside the box, he's challenged, it bounces away. Kane goes in on the challenge. That was a 50-50 with Jensen. Kane again, Kane into the edge of the box, Bellingham trying to give it back but passes it behind Kane, and that'll be taken away to safety by the right wing back Alho. 1-0 England lead. Matt Upson.
It's just all a little bit tight in that area. You're going to find it very hard to get any space to get anything done.
And actually now It's Uuranen who's carrying the ball forward for Finland. He's on his right foot but uses his left to give it square, and then Schuller out to the left-hand side. Keskinen goes for the byline, pulls the ball across, and it's over the top from Chalman on the edge of the 6-yard box. That really should have been the equaliser.
I mean, it's just a massive chance. It really is. Lovely ball across. I think Chalman actually dummies it. Yeah, he leaves the ball and Jensen comes in behind him. What a chance. I mean, he's got his head in his hands. That is 1-1 all day. I mean, how he puts that over the crossbar, John. He can't believe it, Jensen. It's a certain goal if he just keeps it low and underneath the crossbar, it's in.
Yeah, now that's now their best chance. They carved England open there. Excellent work from Keskinen of Aberdeen again.
It's been a slow start to the second half, I will say. It's not changed tempo at all. It's all too comfortable, a little bit too slow. Too much time on the ball, not direct enough from England.
Gomez through the middle to Palmer, but that breaks down on the edge of the Finland box and they're able to clear it away. Yeah, Fredrik Jensen of Augsburg. There's an unused substitute on Thursday night. He'll be reliving that one, won't he?
Crikey. What a chance. I mean, that'd have been a massive goal for them.
And now England, Bellingham is set away into the box, pulls it across, but straight into the legs of Radetzky, who just spread himself, the goalkeeper Radetzky, and Bellingham effectively passed it into his legs.
Again, made it look simple, didn't he? Really easy. Bellingham on the left-hand side with his left foot on the byline, trying to pick out somebody in the box. Kane pulls to the back post, but the goalkeeper reads it really well.
Time for a substitution, do you think?
I think so. To be honest, it hasn't been a great start to the second half for me, John. It's been a bit flat. It's a bit slow. I mean, don't get me wrong, these games, I feel these matches are real effort. They're work, aren't they? Because you're playing against a team that doesn't want to come out. They're going to sit behind the ball. You really have to work hard to get that yard. And I just feel it's a little bit slow, and there's not enough change in the tempo of the play, and therefore you're not really creating too much, and it just gets a little bit dull.
Ireland scored a couple of goals in the second half to win that match on Thursday night. They're playing this evening, Ireland, in Greece, in the other match in this group, as England win the ball back. Bellingham strong in there again. Bellingham now into the penalty area, but crowded out by numbers. Kane was close to him, but couldn't find the captain. And Finland have got it back on the edge of their own penalty. Oh, Kamara slipped. Rice is in now. He's going to shoot for goal, and Rosetsky has to dive to his left, but clings onto it.
Yeah, read it well. Again, the goalkeeper, Rice. Brilliant anticipation. Does this so well, Declan Rice. He reads the pass inside and applies the pressure to Kamara. The pass is slightly wayward. He's on it in a flash, Declan Rice. Gets it onto his right foot. Tries to bend it to the far post corner. Comfortable save.
Yeah, close enough for Radetzky to dive and hang on. And now the goalkeeper, the Finland goalkeeper, sends the ball downfield, but Dean Henderson will come out of his penalty area and just get a touch on that. His previous cap in that friendly against the Republic of Ireland when he played the second half. England won that 3-0, so yet to concede as the England goalkeeper. Very, very early days, but he should have done. Finland should have scored at the start of the second half.
It's a golden opening, isn't it? You're not going to get a better opportunity in this game to score. It was a simple finish, and Jensen will be reliving that one, I'm sure.
Half an hour to play here in Helsinki, around about a mile north of the picturesque city centre. Cathedral Square is absolutely amazing. Cobbled square. Here is Alexander Arnold.
They do love a cobble, don't they?
They love a cobble. Here is Gomez next to the centre circle.
You don't want to drag your suitcase.
You do not want to be doing that. Gay, long, over the top. That's for Kane to chase, but that's asking a great deal of Harry Kane, and Uuranen just allows it to run out for a throw just down in front of us, just about where the finishing line is in the 100 metres. It's got a green carpet on at the moment, but we can just see lanes 7, 8 and 9 down in front of the stand here. Madueke is down there warming up.
Who won the 100 metres in 52 then?
That's a good question.
Oh, I thought you'd have that one up your sleeve.
Let me have a look at my sleeve. No, it's not there. Throw-in taken by Peltola. And then Stones. I can see Gary Flintoff to my right, beavering away. In a minute we'll have the news. We'll have the news, red hot news from 1952. Here's Gomez, now across towards the right-hand side to Walker, Gomez. Sporting buffs who are listening in their cars tonight will be saying, how do they not know that? They should know that. Walker, then Rice. Rice goes back towards the halfway line, and then round Schuller with the pass. I mean, really, the game's going nowhere at the moment.
Yeah, it's just passes in areas of the pitch, and passing the ball. There's no penetration, is there, or any real desire, sharp movement off the ball. And I want to stress again, it isn't that easy because it's so condensed, but you have to push and push and push. And moving the ball quickly, for me, is the key, because then you'll shift the defence and the players, more over the pitch, and then that opening or that bit of space that you require will appear. But the tempo's got to be quicker.
Yeah. England, if and when England get the second goal, then that's it. That's the win secured.
But we've just seen that it could be 1-1.
Here is Walker, now Rice, back into the centre circle. There is a 606, by the way, tonight. Nations League 606, but Robbie and Chris will want to talk anything football-wise. 08085 909 693, the number to book your call. Here's Grealish now, into the full-back position on the left-hand side. Grealish plays it back to Bellingham on the edge of the box. That's set up for Gomez. He's going to have a goal, right foot, but it flies away over the top of the crossbar and lands on the aforementioned running track. So it's going to be a Finnish double change. First of all, Schuller is going to come off from the midfield, and I see Leo Walter, who plays in Sweden for Sirius, is going to come on to replace him. And the centre forward who scored against Ireland, Joel Poyanpalo of Venezia, is also going to come onto the field. So Schuller's coming off, and it is Chelman, so that's a straight swap. Two straight swaps, actually. Walter into the midfield and Poyanpalo up front.
Jana will be happy.
Happier. So while they're announced, I can bring you the news from 1952 here, that the 100 metres were won, the men's 100 metres by an American, Lindy Remigino, and the women, their 100 metres was won by an Australian, Marjorie Jackson. So there we are. I have to say, if you came up with those names, well done. Here is Alho on the right for Finland. England winning 1-0. Now to the edge of the penalty area. The newly arrived Walter is into the game. Alho again on the right. Camera. Finland now. There's real hope here. You can listen. You can hear the reaction to the crowd as Finland press England back into their own penalty area. Camera loses out though. And then England look to play it away from the edge of their own box, which actually in the end they do with a long pass from Alexander-Arnold to the halfway line. England leading 1-0.
It's been very difficult to get behind, hasn't it, at all? I mean, if anything, you want Finland to have more of the ball. Maybe that's a ploy, a tactical ploy that England could put in place as well, just to drop off a bit, let Finland get up the pitch, and then you've got more space down the sides for a bit of pace from Palmer or Walker or whoever it may be, just to try and get behind, because at the moment all the passing's going on in areas that are a little bit meaningless and all in front of Finland.
So it is Finland who lose possession. Walker wins it back. He was quick there. Palmer though, then he dwelt on the ball and Peltola dispossessed him. And now Finland forward towards the halfway line. Substitutes have given them new vigour. Jensen though is forced to carry the ball out of play by Mark Gay's challenging it a throw into England. Yeah, just a difficult little period here for England. There is that whiff of potential danger.
Definitely. I mean, it's a very, very close shave that they've had, but there's a feel, and they've got probably their best finisher on the pitch at the moment. The Finnish finisher.
Yeah, Finnish finisher. They're all Finnish.
In Poyanpalo.
Yeah, Poyanpalo, who's got 16 goals, 16 international
goals.
Plays
in Serie A, so he gets an opportunity like that, John, in the 18-yard box. You'd fancy him to stick it away. Yeah,
had an excellent season last season, as we heard from Jana before the game. Here's Kane, and he's already got a couple of goals for Venezia this season as well. Kane just strong, holds off the challenge that comes in on him. Now Kyle Walker on the right, but again it's too slow here. Walker actually brings the ball to a complete stop at his feet. Declan Rice behind him. Now Jude Bellingham. Bellingham rolls it to Gay, now forward to Grealish, then back to Gay again, and then back towards the halfway line. It's the old question again, isn't it, that we've talked about in the latter times of Gareth Southgate during the course of the summer. And with all of the attacking talent and all of the quality that England have, you know, they're not scoring a hatful of goals.
No, I mean, we're not top scorers in the group, are we? Greece, I think, got scored 2 more than us, haven't they? Which says a lot, really, because with the talent that England do have, you would think that they would be smashing that part of the group, but we're not.
And goal difference is important in terms of, you know, that's the first criteria in this group. Bellingham on the right-hand side. England will be hoping that maybe Ireland could pull off a result in Piraeus tonight. But 1-0 England lead, just 1-0. Gomez back towards the halfway line. We are going to see a couple of changes. We will see Madueke, who is waiting on the side of the pitch to come on, and Ollie Watkins as well. And remember, Harry Kane, you know, he's had an injury issue, so my guess would be that will be a straight swap. And he's had quite a quiet night. As Rice now forward for England. Here's Palmer. Palmer has 2 Finland players in front of him, then Walker through the middle, Bellingham, Rice to the edge of the box. Alexander-Arnold lifts it forward, but Radetzky comes out at the feet of Ivanov, his central defender, and actually collides into him as he claims the ball, and the referee's going to stop play because I think Ivanov might have a problem.
Yeah, he just caught the ankle of Ivanov. It was really good goalkeeping, very decisive from Radetzky, who's been excellent all evening. Comes out to the ball, but his centre-half is just shepherding it back to him, trying to get his body in the way of Jude Bellingham to get to the ball, and he just catches him, the goalkeeper, on his ankle when it's planted in the grass.
Well, slightly disappointingly, we're not going to see Palmer and Madueke on the field at the same time, because Madueke is coming on for Palmer.
Which does make sense in the position that Palmer's been playing, I suppose. It's just a straight swap, isn't it, on that right side of the 3 across the attacking part of the field.
And it is Harry Kane who's leaving the field now. No goals tonight after the 2 that he got against Finland last month, and a tap of the hands with Ollie Watkins, who comes on, having set up the goal, didn't he, for Bellingham on Thursday night when he was sent on as a substitute. But you know, as we said on Thursday, I'm sure there'll have been disappointment there that when England, in the absence of Kane, he must have thought he'd be next in line, and then England chose to play without a centre forward.
Yeah, I just want to see Madueke get on the ball and run at someone, John. You know, how many times this game we've seen Grealish or Palmer get out, isolate a player one-on-one and beat them and get at them and then make something happen. It just hasn't been happening in this game. I think Madueke might well do that. Here he is.
Yep, here is Madueke then into the action with number 23 on his back tonight. Madueke back to Gomez. Now England penning Finland back. In comes the cross from Walker towards the back post. Watkins challenges for that, but Finland win the header, and then Camera is tackled by Ollie Watkins, and England back in possession in the Finland defensive third. It's Grealish now. Grealish running at Alho, and then winning the corner as he plays it off the defender. Corner for England from the left.
I don't mind that from Grealish. Okay, you haven't got the cross in the box, but you decided to go at Alho, and you've won a corner by being direct, being more positive, and trying to make something happen.
Yeah, so a corner that will be slung in from the left-hand side, but by the right foot of Trent Alexander-Arnold. England are leading 1-0. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Lines are open for 6:06 as Alexander-Arnold takes the corner now. It's a high curling corner towards the penalty spot. That's headed away for Finland. Back to Rice on the edge of the area, but just beaten to it, I think, by Camera, and the ball was swept out of play for a throw-in 10 yards inside the England half. Noni Madueke just down in front of us. He's got his gloves on tonight. We're not too far away from the Arctic Circle here, and it is a cold evening. Madueke coming on as a substitute, so 3 caps and all as a substitute so far. But an exciting talent, Madueke, with the goals that he scored this season, and also the general all-round play as Henderson, the England goalkeeper, long towards Watkins in the centre circle, who loses out actually to Schuller, but then he passes it straight to Madueke, who runs into the area. He's round Paltala, crosses, goalkeeper gets a touch, and he's fortunate there, Radetzky, with the touch, that it fell to a teammate and the defender was able to clear.
That's exactly what Madueke does. Knocked it, space was there, knocked it and ran. It was simple but effective from him, really direct. Gets his cross in. It's good goalkeeping again. I mean, I've been so impressed with Radetzky.
Yeah, excellent pace.
He seems top, doesn't he?
Yeah, very good indeed. But Madueke there, getting past the defender.
It's just using his pace, John, and being direct. And it's simple, but really, really effective. And he'll get the better of his defender in this game if he isolates him 1v1.
That's Matt Upson here with us in Helsinki. Phil Jagielka is back in the studio with Steve Crossman, so we'll hear more from Phil at the end of the game. We'll go down under the stadium. The warm-up track is down there. That's where we're doing the interviews, so you'll hear those interviews live or on the Football Daily in the morning via BBC Sounds. Here's Walker over the halfway line. Madueke, with the 5 goals that he scored for Chelsea this season, has scored, rattling his hat-trick at Molineux, the first hat-trick of his senior career. The crowd trying to lift Finland, and there is that feeling in the stands that their team still has a chance in this match of getting something, their first point perhaps of the group. England looking to get back onto the winning track as Watkins plays it back to Bellingham, who was just fouled by Walter, and it's a free kick to England in a good position, 25-30 yards out.
Yeah, it's good work from Watkins, really good. He works the channel, he gets out wide to the corner flag, then makes the overlap around Grealish, gets the ball again, pops it inside to Bellingham, and he just lets the ball roll across his body. Walter comes out to try and win it, misses the ball and catches Bellingham, and this is actually a lovely position. It's about 10 yards outside the 18-yard box, just to the left of the goal, so it's just tailor-made for Trent Alexander-Arnold's right peg.
We're in the 73rd minute. England have been leading since the 18th, but have not been able to find another way past the Bayer Leverkusen goalkeeper, the captain of Finland, Lukas Radetzky, who's on his line now, just organising his wall. Some more instructions from him with those black gloves on that he's wearing. Madueke and Alexander-Arnold. Here comes Alexander-Arnold over the wall and in! Beats the dive of Radetzky to his right. Super free kick from Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's right out of his playbook, and England now do lead by 2-0.
Well, we said it was tailor-made, but he still had to deliver, and boy did he do that. What a strike from Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, we know what he's capable of with that right foot, but this is just beautiful. It's inside the near post, so he's just bent it over the top of the wall. But what I like about it, it's got real pace on it. Just over the top of the wall. It's not too high. It's a good foot, maybe 2 feet under the crossbar, but it's right on the outside of that goal, so it's just inside the near post. Radetzky's scrambling to get across to his right to save it, but even he can't get there. It's a brilliant free kick.
Did it just kiss the post on the way in?
It looked like it. It was right over the far side of the goal, just skimmed that inside near post. It was just perfect.
Yeah, and what was it? It was probably 25 yards, maybe a little bit more than that out.
A little bit more, so it's 10 yards outside the 18-yard box, and just to the left. It was just, the position was spot on, because when you're that far out, John, you can hit it with power, because you can get it up and down. You've got the distance for the ball to drop once it's gone over the wall.
And as we said, to be the goalkeeper of the quality of Lukas Radetzky in the way that he did there, that was high class from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Top quality.
Now, Finland have made another couple of changes. Teemu Pukki has come on, the former Norwich and Celtic man, Finland's record scorer. This is his 125th cap that he's winning tonight. They're now United States-based Teemu Pukki, and the Keskinen has also gone off, so Jensen and Keskinen off, and it is a corner that is swung in but cleared away by England, and Robin Lode, who's another of the American-based players, has come onto the field. Finland 2-0 down now. England, it would seem, on the way to victory, and this attack breaks down, and England now looking for a third goal, which would absolutely wrap it up. Bellingham's carried it a long way downfield, but then checks back and looks for support there.
Yeah, you feel the game's wrapped up now, John, isn't it? You can't see Finland scoring 2 goals in this match. They've had their opening in this game for Jensen. That was the key moment for them, and they didn't take it.
So it is England in possession. Stones actually thinks about having a little burst forward himself, but then thinks better of it and goes back towards the halfway line. So Finland 0, England 2. Trent Alexander-Arnold scoring for his 4th goal for England as well. So both goal scorers, Grealish and Alexander-Arnold, scoring their 4th goals for England. And I have a feeling that might have been the crowd figure that was announced, but my finish is not quite up to that.
You didn't get that?
I didn't catch it. Here's Grealish on the left-hand side into the penalty area, just plays it back to Bellingham, who's going to try a shot, which is wide of the near post. Radetzky down onto his knees, and it just flicks the outside netting on the way behind into the hoardings. Yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who scored before the Euros, if you remember, when England played at St James's Park in the win against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and then of course was given the number 8 for the tournament. Started the first 2 matches in central midfield.
Played everywhere, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Midfield, right back, left back.
Yeah, his last kick at the Euros was the winning penalty against Switzerland. He didn't get onto the field after that. And in Lee Carsley's first 3 matches, started at right back, and now as left back.
I always feel comfortable when he's over the ball in the penalty spot, though, I have to say. With that right foot, I don't think he would miss too many penalties. He's got that very laid-back, composed nature about him, isn't he?
He has. I suspect we might be hearing from him post-match. Lines open for 606, so there's interviews maybe during the course of 606. 08 085 909 693. Talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 5 Live tonight. England with Madueke now on the right-hand side. With a couple of changes coming for England, Lewis and Foden are going to come on. Madueke now beats one man, and then as Peltola comes across, plays it back to Alexander-Arnold, and then Walcott with a cushion header across, but straight into the gloves of Radetzky. And the crowd, by the way, 32,411. Thanks to our colleague Alex Howell, our BBC colleague, who has sent that to us. I don't know how he worked that out.
Does he speak Finnish?
Well, not that I'm aware. As Teemu Pukki now. Pukki bursts forward. He's got the option of Uuranen to his left. In fact, he plays it the other way to the edge of the box, then back to Camara. And England dropping back into position. Camara again. The right wing back Arlo, but Valter's going to try a shot from 25 yards plus, but it flies away. Dean Henderson dived for it, but I think you'd be confident that it was heading wide of the top left corner. And now we're going to see the next 2 England changes. So Rico Lewis and Phil Foden, the Manchester City pair, who started on Thursday but left out tonight, are going to come on. And Foden on, Bellingham off.
Yeah.
I did say to Lee Carsley last night, can they play together in the same England team? And he said, of course they can.
Yeah.
But not tonight, they won't.
2 players with brilliant football IQ can play together, but he doesn't fancy it this evening.
So off comes Jude Bellingham, who scored. He's got a big smile on his face as he comes across to Lee Carsley. So there's a little joke there. So Angel Gomez is off with Lewis coming on. So Lewis and Foden are on. Bellingham and Gomez are off. So that's the end of Angel Gomez's 3rd cap. How do you think he fared?
Yeah, good. I think he ticks the ball over really well. Yes, it is sideways and backwards, and but he's a nice technician. He keeps that position well. He fills that hole. He anticipates things. He punches above his weight in the middle of the park, and he's got a lovely assist for the first goal. It was a really kind of moment of the first half, to be honest. That real piece of quality, this first touch, and then to find the pass for Grealish was top draw. That was the moment for England in the first half that really stood out. So I think he'll come off the pitch pretty happy, John.
Yeah. Finland 0, England 2. Phil Foden now playing, well, he's got the number 10 on his back, the gold number 10 on the back of the raisin-coloured shirt, and he is playing in that role. And Lewis is actually playing in the midfield role. I did wonder whether he might have gone over to left back, but Alexander-Arnold has stayed there. And here he is, Alexander-Arnold, who very nearly lost the ball in his own penalty area. But England are able to play it away, and there's a flick from Madueke for Alexander-Arnold, then a touch from Watkins. Now Grealish pouring forward, Foden as well. Madueke is another option. Foden on the left, looked to cross it for Watkins, and there was a defender in the way. Uranen was able to lift it over his own crossbar for an England corner.
Yeah, I'm really liking Madueke's energy. What he's brought into the second half has been excellent. England on a break here, Finland higher up the pitch, and these are few and far between, these moments. Try and take advantage of it, but Foden just can't find that final ball to Watkins at the back post, and it gets cut out.
So a corner for England.
I'm struggling with this kind of raisin colour that keeps coming out, John.
That's
just
it.
picturing raisins on
Officially raisins.
pitches. Yeah.
I think this is the fourth Finland change. And it is the right wing back who is coming off, and Oliver Antman, who plays in the Netherlands for Go Ahead Eagles, is going to come on. He's been ill this week, Antman, but obviously not too bad. They did say he'd had flu, but can't be flu. No. So he's on, and Arlo comes off. So the corner is taken short by England. Then Alexander-Arnold, very deep. Stones chests it down, but chests it straight behind for a goal kick.
A tough one for John Stones to bring under control. I like the idea of trying to chest that the other side of the defender, and then your body weight's coming forward onto it, but tricky to move your feet and judge the spin on the ball there.
Yeah, that's 5 changes now for Finland. So 2-0 England lead. We've got less than 10 minutes to play. In fact, we're in the 83rd minute now as John Stones just carefully heads the ball back to goalkeeper Henderson. Lines open for 606 on 5 Live. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Call them 08085 909 693. Hashtag BBC 606. Text 85058. There's more live sport on Sports Extra tonight. The American football, the Dallas Cowboys and Detroit Lions. That's from 9 o'clock on Sports Extra. Wales, Montenegro, Sports Extra tomorrow night. Scotland, Portugal, Tuesday night. And then the test match as well, Tuesday morning, the second test from Multan. Test match special on air from breakfast time as Finland played square. Camera now. Here's Pukki. Pukki tries to find a pass through, but Grealish is able to get a foot on that. Knocks it up towards Watkins. Ollie Watkins all on his own there, out towards the left-hand side. I see Conor Gallagher's going to come on very shortly. It's going to be the next England change. Watkins still going into the penalty area on the left. Low ball across, is touched in at the near post by Declan Rice for 3-0 England. And Rice punches the air, and England have got the win and the 3 points now. No doubt about that here in Helsinki. Finland 0, England 3, and Declan Rice scores again as he did in Dublin last month.
Yeah, the substitutes have had a real impact in this second half for England. Watkins this time, he was running down the left-hand side. I think it's against Hoskonen, and he slowed it up, and the space was in. I kept thinking, go on, just be directed, just knock the ball and use your pace to gain that half a yard and get the cross, and it's exactly what he does. Puts a little step over in just to throw Hoskonen off. Declan Rice, who's been arriving in that box a lot in this game, gets towards the near post, ball comes fizzing across, and it's a simple little toe on the edge of the ball into the back of the net.
And Declan Rice walks straight off the pitch. His final touch was his 5th goal for England, and he applauds to the England fans just to our right here as he walks past them, and big applause now, thumbs up from him too. He's as pleased as Punch, isn't he, after scoring that one?
He'll be well happy with that, you know. To get on the score sheet for him is massive, and I think it's another kind of nod to the fact that he's not just that sitting midfield play. For me, when he does both, and he's got that licence to get forward when there's another midfield player in there that will hold that central position, I think you really get the best out of Declan Rice. He's more than capable of being an attacking threat from scoring like that, or even being part of an assist.
So it's Conor Gallagher of Atletico Madrid, who comes on for his first cap since he moved to Spain from Chelsea in the summer. So he's been an unused substitute in all 3 matches for Lee Carsley. So I did have a fancy that he would get him onto the field here tonight, which he has done. So his 19th cap. Seems to have settled quite well there, doesn't he? Already got a couple of goals, Conor Gallagher. And now He's just taking the place of Declan Rice in the midfield. And England have got those 2 late goals that we suggested that they might against a tiring Finland. 3-0 the score now as Rico Lewis just passes the ball back to goalkeeper Dean Henderson. And his previous cap, Dean Henderson, England won 3-0, and that is the scoreline here tonight. But a big and pivotal moment for Finland came when Fredrik Jensen had that chance when England were 1-0 up, that Jensen put over the top of the crossbar from 6 yards. As Teemu Pukki wins a corner off Kyle Walker, so a corner for Finland from the left with just over 3 minutes to play.
Yeah, that hasn't really been their strength in this game, has it? Finland, some of the delivery into the box hasn't been great, certainly in the first half. Let's have a little look at this right-footed in-swinger just about to be delivered into England's box.
Valta to take this one into the near post. It's headed in at the near post, and Finland have got a goal. The central defender Hoskonen rose above everyone else, and it will not be a clean sheet for Dean Henderson on his first start for England. They concede, Finland score, and it's now 3-1 England.
Well, England won't be happy with that at all, but what I will say, for the first time in this game, there's some real quality on the delivery. There's pace, it's whipped in at a lovely height. I don't know whose responsibility it is to mark Hoskonen. There's a lot of zonal marking going on, but he gets across the face of Watkins. He's just allowed to drift into that near post space, and it just needs a glancing touch. Such is the quality of the ball, and he does it well, just gets the contact, and it's straight in the back of the net, close range.
Yep, they'll be cross about that. So the England lead is reduced, but Watkins now, Madueke into the area, shoots into the side netting. Hoskonen, who's just scored at one end, trying to put the tackle in on Madueke, but from the shot, it was the angle was too tight, side netting.
Yeah, it was a bit of a gamble to go to ground there for Hoskonen, wasn't it? Because I felt like Madueke was just going to delay for a moment, and then he would have just been able to have gone round him, but he got the shot off, and the angle was tight.
Yeah, Hoskonen getting Finland on the score sheet, just their second goal in the group. And Hoskonen, well, he'll be able to dine out on that, won't he? Scoring against England, the first man to score for Finland against England since Aki Rialati. Do you remember him, the Crystal Palace man who scored in that match I was talking about at Anfield under Sven-Göran Eriksson? Finland 1, England 3 then is now the score. And there's Artur Hoskonen announced on the public address system as Rico Lewis into the challenge, just taps the ball away. Well, that was a throw-in for Finland. Might have got a yellow card for that in the Premier League, which resumes next weekend, of course. Five Live.
Only if you're an Arsenal player.
Said the former Arsenal man. So Premier League next weekend. 5 Live, more Premier League commentaries than anywhere else. You will hear Manchester United Brentford 3 o'clock Saturday. That's an interesting one. And then Bournemouth Arsenal 5:30. You're not doing that, are you?
No.
Wolves Manchester City 2 o'clock Sunday. Liverpool Chelsea 4:30 Sunday. All of those matches, 5 Live, the place to hear them. Here comes Ant-Man on the left hand side. Ant-Man, Walker recovers. Ant-Man with the ball into the penalty area. Gay is able to move across unchallenged, volleys it away to the halfway line. We're in the 90th minute now here in Helsinki, beautiful Helsinki. We'll be walking past the lake back to the city centre. Tuulunlahti is the name of that lovely stretch of water, as Valta is challenged by Gallagher, and Gallagher passes it forward towards Madueke. Madueke with Foden as an option. Grealish is there as well. He actually flicks it to Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis on his fourth cap. Forward to the man who scored England's first goal, Grealish. Grealish pulls it across, defender can't clear it. Foden's in on this. Foden couldn't get the ball under control. Not scored in his last 15 England appearances. I thought it might come from there.
Yeah, it looked like it was possible. There were just so many white shirts in the area that you just couldn't find the space. But the moment England are more direct and go for something, they make chances happen, and they've certainly done that in wide areas in this second half, certainly in the last 10 minutes since we've been scoring the goals.
Yes, Pukki, the stocky little figure of Pukki, crosses the ball into Walker. It bounces out of play for a throw-in. Finland 1, England 3. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693 as Ant-Man crosses for Finland, and at the back post Alexander Arnold heads it out to his teammate Grealish on the edge of the box, who is then fouled by camera, although the referee says play on, and Gallagher is able to give it back to the edge of the area. Still an excellent atmosphere ringing around the stadium despite the home defeat. I think they wanted to see a goal, didn't they? And they've seen a goal for Finland. So quite a... I can see scarves being twirled. They are a famously happy nation, Finland.
They're lovely people, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a lovely atmosphere and feel around the city.
Madueke now with a run, but that bounces off the Chelsea man and out of play for a throw. Yeah, the people of Finland have been named for a 7th consecutive year as the happiest country in the world. And when you come here to Helsinki, and you see it as we've seen it, with the sun shining, the autumn colours fantastic, you can understand why, can't you?
Yeah.
They like a glass of Kahoo as well, so we're told. Here is Pukki on the halfway line, and then in comes the challenge. Excellent from Gallagher, who then dives into the challenge on camera. typical Gallagher, tigerish there. Poyenpalo though wins it back, and now here is Poyenpalo, right foot shot, but that was blocked by John Stones, who came across. That might well have been on target, but good block from Stones.
Good decision from Stones, had to make that call early, comes out, decides to come out and get the block in, and does really well.
4 minutes of added time, and we've already had we're into the third of those 4 minutes. England on the way to victory, which has gone some way to helping things for Lee Carsley after Thursday night's surprise defeat against Greece, but he can't erase that from his record. And generally, Matt, what would you say about England tonight?
I would say that there's been some moments of real quality. I think there's been, that there's a swagger and a confidence about our players individually. The problem is just putting it all together in the right structure so it can really flourish. I think any manager coming into this team, that's going to be that is the challenge, really, because they've got such a great, intelligent group of players.
Here is Grealish now. Grealish, who's done well for Lee Carsley, into the area. In the end, just a toe poker of a shot that Radetzky is able to come across and deal with quite simply. 3 goals for England tonight then. Grealish, that was well worked. Gomez set that up for Grealish, finished it well. Alexander Arnold then in the 74th minute with an excellent free kick that Radetzky at full stretch couldn't get to. It was right inside the post from over on the left-hand side. And then Declan Rice scoring the third goal, the clincher really for England, with the near post finish, before Hoskonen headed one in from a corner. Here's Gallagher under pressure, passes the ball out to Kyle Walker. I make it that the 4 minutes are up. It just depends how long the Georgian referee is going to add on, whether there'll be time for one final England attack. Madueke forward to Foden, there is time for that. Watkins is in the middle. Foden, who's here on the right hand side, moves infield. Phil Foden winning his 43rd cap tonight, and that is the end of it. Applause all the way around the stadium to our left from the Finland supporters and from the England fans as well, who sing their songs. Defeat to Greece on Thursday night, but England good winners tonight against the team at the bottom of the group. 3-1 against Finland.
Yeah, deserved winners in terms of possession and chances created, but the game had probably a 10-minute spell in that second half. We didn't start the second half particularly well. Gave Finland a little bit too much confidence. They had 1 or 2 chances. One of them was just a really top goal-scoring opportunity, and they should have made it 1-1. But once that game got nearer that last 25 minutes, like you said, I think the legs of Finland got a bit tired. Our quality started to shine through. We scored a couple of nice goals, and at this moment it looks comfortable. And like you say, you just want to restore that winning mentality into the team and just continue that momentum. But there was a little wobble midway through that second half where it could have been much more difficult for England.
Yeah, the chance that Jensen had, if he'd buried that past Dean Henderson, then maybe it would have been different. But England, with those 2 late goals in the last 20 minutes, eventually made it 3-0 before Hoskonen headed one back. So that is England still second in the table, because Greece have a superior goal difference, but Greece and England now on 9 points, and next month England will go to Greece on the 14th of November, and then the final match in the group at home against Ireland on Sunday the 17th. They will be the last 2 matches for Lee Carsley as the interim head coach, and of course he'll be facing further questions very shortly about exactly how things might shape up next month. But tonight England have won, Finland 1, England 3, the final score here.
Facing further questions from you, John Murray.
Well, he will, yes.
Right, off you go then, and we'll hear from you shortly.
A grilling.
John Murray is off to interview the England manager and some of the players, so we will bring you what we can bring you between now and 7:30, and then it'll be time for 6:06. So we'll have John speaking to the players and the manager. Matt Upson is staying in the commentary position, and Phil Jagielka will be with us through till 7:30 as well. Phil, overall assessment of that then?
Job done, probably. You listen to what Matt had to say, it was perfectly accurate. We played well in spells, we played well as sort of individuals in certain periods, but that one thing that we're looking for going forward is the collective, and looking good going forward, looking good defensively as a team, which we're probably lacking a little bit at the moment. But we've got high expectations for these players. We said we've got such a fantastic squad. We want to go to places like Finland and win 3-4-0, keep a clean sheet, create loads of chances, and dominate the game, which we did for periods, but potentially not enough.
And I sort of wonder, Matt, whether if the Greece game hadn't happened, then tonight might have felt a certain way. But because it did, there was just a need to recover from that, and that's what they've done.
Yeah, I think so. I think you have that kind of setback. The first thing is, right, we need to have that recovery, and the best way to recover is to just go and win, Steve. So first protocol, pick a team to win the game, which Lee Carsley did. It was probably easier to do that against this Finnish team that, battled hard and sat in, but they've not got a lot of quality going forwards. They're not much of a threat, so England could be more relaxed, and it had a bit of a relaxed tone, the game, certainly in the ball, which led to a couple of sloppy moments, and maybe not enough zip and punch, because you then have to drive that tempo yourself as a team, because the game organically doesn't offer it, because Finland are happy just to sit off and go, well, go on then, let's see what you got. So it wasn't a to and fro in game at all, was it? So you've then got to really build it and drive it, and that can be difficult. In the end it broke through because we had enough. I thought the subs were good, and Madueke injects real energy onto the pitch, and Watkins, I thought they were quite direct and running at players and going past people, and that was enough just to see it over the line and make it more comfortable, really.
08085 909 693. Get your calls in now. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will be with you at 7:30 for 6:06. Chris is with us now. What do you make of that, Chris? Good evening.
Yes, good response, as the guys have said. It was a bit patchy, though, wasn't it? Look, I suppose the question we put out this evening, there seems to be this uncertainty, Steve. I was reading a report this morning that the FA sort of have reservations about whether Lee Carsley actually wants the job after what Lee Carsley said on Thursday night, that hopefully he can return to the under-21s. It's been nearly 100 days since Gareth Southgate departed as England manager. Is it a situation where there needs to be more clarity about what's going to happen next with England? I mean, are they going to wait till it seems that way, till the November international break, and see how Lee Carsley does then? Or should they be a bit more forthright and get have a plan in place, get a manager in place, so somebody can come in and work with players and look ahead to the World Cup? We saw the Lee Carsley experiment, which was, absolutely on him to do that and fine, but, that didn't work. And then, things just seem to be up in the air at the moment. Is Lee Carsley the guy to take England on to the next World Cup? That's the question, Steve.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I suppose, Chris, is there an argument that England might not know who they want, they might know who they want, who knows? But would they be better off waiting for, let's say, next summer to get the candidate that they might really want, hypothetically, than just bringing in somebody now when what is at stake is, some people might say, only the Nations League?
Yes, I get that, but if you leave Lee Carsley in place, a guy who says he doesn't want the job and he carries on with his experiments and what have you, then a new manager comes in and wants to play a different way. Surely it's better to get the person you want in ASAP. Who should that be? But do the FA have this plan that they're waiting and have had a nod from somebody? So things are up in the air, but I don't think that is necessarily a good thing for England right now, and it's not what they need.
Yeah, I think we're just in the dark, aren't we? That's the main thing. We don't know if Lee Carrs is on trial as England manager, or they've literally got someone to put in charge next month, start of next season, nothing. So it'd be quite nice to sort of know what the plan is, because you do want to get this team going in the right direction. The quicker we sort who's actually going to lead us in the right direction, I think the better.
Well, I imagine we will learn something when John Murray speaks to Lee Carsley very shortly. Thanks, Chris. Have a good show.
Cheers, Steve. Thank you.
Chris Sutton, Robbie Savage, 6:06 in half an hour's time. Lines are open, 08085 909 693.